Welcome to this month of mindfulness, a short video series of monotangles in black and white, with the emphasis on concentrating on here and now with a pen. Today's tangle is a grid-based tangle, a little one called Cootie by Sandy Steen Bartholomew. There's actually another tangle with the same name, so hopefully you find this one. I thought I'd better do another grid-based tangle, as often drawing in a grid can be a really soothing and mindful way, because just like the fragment system, you really focus on just one little square at a time. So just inside your section or your tile, we're just going to draw 4 corner dots, almost going back to the way you would draw a normal tile. And then I'm going to draw a line between each of my dots. If you're working in a beautiful square tile, you'll find this a little bit easier than me with my hexagon, but it will still work no matter what shape you have. I'm now going to split this into 9 squares. So just on the sort of splitting one line with a wee dot on the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 split, and 1/3, 1/3, I'm going to draw 2 lines. Then rotate my tile and do the same thing in the opposite direction. Or, if you're quite happy, just draw a noughts and crosses grid. You'll come up with the same effect. And this little one called Cootie is a really simple tangle, so just focus on your lines. So each square we're now going to turn into pen. This is what I was talking about, the noughts and crosses. If you find that an easier way to do it, that's absolutely fine. We're going to start in the middle one. And I'm just going to go from one of the grid junctions to the other, the indices. I'm just going to draw a curved line, and the same curved line on the other side. And then I'm just going to aura. I'll do a complete aura on this side. On this side, I'm just going to add a little bit of sparkle. So just at one point in the line, I'm just going to take my pen off and put it back down again. And I'm now going to rotate my tile and look to the one next door and do the same shape again. This little oval that heads into the same point on both sides. On this side, I'll do my aura lines solid. On this side, I'm going to add a bit of sparkle, using my string line to tell me where to stop. Rotate my tile and do that same first stroke again. As my sparkle is here, I'm going to add the sparkle on the side next door. If you don't want to add any sparkle, feel free to just keep that same repetitive stroke aura line, which is solid. And the nice thing about a grid-based tangle is that we can just take one square at a time. Don't worry about the rest of what's going on. Just concentrate on that one square. There's no rhyme nor reason to the order that I'm doing these. But each time I'm looking to where the ellipse shape would kiss onto the edge of the one that you've already drawn, so that I know the direction that this wants to go. Using an aura is a beautiful way just mindfully concentrating on the here and now with your pen. Perhaps adding a bit of deliberate sparkle as you go. Or perhaps not, whichever works for you. And then inside each of my ellipses, we're now going to draw an orb. But not an orb that just completely fills it. Just make it look as if it's closed in behind. So instead of drawing the orb from one side to another, I'm just missing a little bit of it. So as if it's hidden in behind. And then aura each side. I find if I do this second part of each of these grid squares separately, I am more likely to get my kissing points in the right place. However, if you've got one that's odd, don't worry about it. Be a lovely feature. It's not wrong, it's just different. It's just having a word with the rest of the tile to say, I don't want to be here, I want to be there. A part of being something that's handcrafted by you. And if you like, inside these orbs here, you can throw a little bit of drama. So I might choose to draw a little orb inside and then fill the rest. Draw my orb and then start to fill. And I'm going to have a little bit of fun here with some opposites. So I'm just going to do every other one. Sometimes the process of doing that drama is a lovely mindful way of just making sure that your pen is covering the whole area that you want it to fill. Just concentrating on that, filling that tiny little area. Of course, drama can sometimes be used to hide the odd sinned line, but I think it can be quite fun as a beautiful enhancement technique on its own. And once you've got those orbs all finished, we'll just add a little bit of shading. I think I'm going to add a little bit of shading just at the points of my square here and here. I'm not going to do a lot. I'll pop just a little bit of graphite down and then use my tortillon to push it out along my grid lines. just use that initial grid square that we did, our border, and just smooth the graphite out, that string line around the edges. Perhaps this one, because it's a different shape on the tile, on my tile, I'm just going to give it another little aura that just tucks around the outside of my tile. If you're working in your own section, you perhaps don't need to add this one. But I just want to pop in a few little orbs on the corner. And just the same way that I did on my grid, I'm going to alternate them. So there we have our nice little cootie. I think I'll pop the highlights at the top of my orb, and I think my dear old chop might have to sit upside down on this one. So there we have Cootie. You may have chosen instead just to pop them all in the same direction, and that can look just as beautiful. Or you may have had fun, just like we did before with Warble, by having a slightly wonky grid. So however you have fun today with Cootie, I hope you've had a lovely mindful tangle with the drama and with those beautiful auras, perhaps adding some sparkle and some highlights.